Welcome back, sports bettors. This is Jeff Makinen again at DRF Sports. I'm here to cover the Monday night football game this week between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. The game will be played at Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, Mexico, as part of the continued international featuring of games in the NFL. Technically, this game is a neutral field, even though it is designated as a home game for the Chargers. Your DRF Sports subscription contains this matchup tool that I will be using to demonstrate this game for all the major sports upcoming, including the NFL, college football, NBA, NHL, and college basketball. You get all this detailed information in the same format for all the sports. And you can get your subscription started today for just a penny for new subscribers. That's right. Use the promo code PENNY at sports.drf.com today and start winning. As I mentioned, this game is being played in Mexico City. Kansas City opened up as a 4-point favorite. They are currently sitting at 3.5. The over-under has moved up from 49 to 52. Looking at our game estimates, game simulator estimate number one, Kansas City projected to win 28-25, pretty much right on the line in total there. Estimate number two calls for a 29 to 24 Kansas City win. And our power line calls for Kansas City to be a 2-point favorite. So if you average these three together, you're going to be at a little over 3. So the line is pretty well right on. The total, averaging the two simulator estimates together, is 53. Again, 1-point difference, very close to the current 52 total. Kansas City has played a slightly harder schedule, 21.8 average power rating of opponents played. The Chargers are at 19.7. Point differential, the Chargers, despite their 4-6 record, are actually at plus 1.3. Kansas City plus 4.5 with their 6-4 record. The -6 turnover differential is probably the number one thing stopping the Chargers from having a better record so far this season. Looking into some of the betting angles that appear here this week, Andy Reid continues to do well against conference foes, AFC foes on the road. He's 31-12 against the spread. And it should be noted that even though this game is neutral, we will count the trends for road games for both teams since they're playing in an unfamiliar stadium to them. There is a contrarian type betting system, as usually pops up in a lot of these games, to play on Kansas City play on any team after 3 consecutive games where they force 1 or less turnover against an opponent after a game with a turnover margin of -3 or worse. Basically, this is saying that this team is due to create some turnovers and probably as a result win these games, as they're playing up against a team that was sloppy last week and handling the ball. So if you would have bet this over the last 10 seasons, you'd be 46-18 against the spread. Not too bad there. On the other side of the equation, you have Anthony Lynn, who after a loss against the spread continues to be undefeated in road games. He's 8-0 against the spread in those games. So he's a good bounce back coach. On the side with the over, Kansas City is 8-1 over versus good passing quarterbacks. We define that as more than 7 or more yards per attempt, of passing yards per attempt. Over the last 2 years, Kansas City is 8-1 over against those teams. And there is one here, a system that favors the under. So bet under any team where the total is greater than 49.5. It is currently at 52. After going over by a total of 21 or more points total over their last 3 games versus division foes. So basically it's a situation where you get a team like Kansas City who has been clearing the total relatively easily for the overs over the last 3 games. Now they're going into a division game and with a high posted total. In a case like that, you would bet the under. Looking at our line movements, 78% of the betting action is favoring Kansas City. Despite this, the line dropped from 4 to 3.5. 81% of the action favors the under. So in both these cases, the betting action, public action, is opposite of the way the line moved here. As you can see, the over-under moved from 49 to 52 despite all that action on the under. So there could be sharps betting the over here. If I go into the game results, You can see that the Chargers have alternated wins and losses over the Chiefs rather have alternated wins and losses over the last 4 games. 2 of those games were played without Patrick Mahomes, who is back now in full strength. The Chargers dropped a tough one to the Raiders, 26-24, following up their 2 wins over NFC North rivals. Lastly, in head-to-head, it's been fairly even recently. The Chargers have won the last 2 games in Los Angeles. Again, this game is not being played in Los Angeles, but over the last 3 seasons, they are 3-1 overall versus the Chargers. The Chiefs are both against the spread and straight up. So overall, as you probably guessed, there's a lot of factors favoring both sides of this game. This is going to be a relatively tough game to call. My gut instinct would be to take Kansas City here. I think with Mahomes getting back in the lineup, they're going to get a boost in his second game back. He'll probably have shaken off some of that rust from game 1. And the Chargers have just been finding a way to shoot themselves in the foot and lose games. So I think the Chiefs find a way to win here. You may be better off going with a money line wager so that you can protect yourself against a 3-point type Chiefs win. But either way, I do think Kansas City will prevail. Thanks again for watching. This is Jeff Makinen at DRF Sports, Twitter handle @SportsDBExpert. Best of luck on Monday Night Football.